Good morning, Year 9. Please see you at the date and title. The title is The Monkey's Paw by W. W. Jacobs. Our lesson objective today is to listen to The Monkey's Paw and understand the key events of the story. For your do now, what do the images below suggest about the story? Look closely at each and make a list of the things you notice and what they imply. Pause the video for about 2 minutes to do this now. Hints from the covers. So we're now going to go through each of these covers and discuss what they could indicate about the story. So the first cover has a strange and frightening shadow beneath the monkey's paw. This clawed hand seems to be manipulating a human-shaped figure on strings. This could imply that the paw is aware and possesses a malign, evil intentions. The second cover is red, classically linked to violent horror. The monkey's paw is superimposed over a lonely house that's surrounded by woods. It could imply that the setting will be isolated and frightening, and that the characters might find themselves trapped. The final image has a glowing paw, suggesting supernatural powers. There is a skull embedded in the palm of the paw. Perhaps this implies that the paw is poisonous or carries a dangerous curse. If you haven't written what's on the slide, could you copy it down, please? And this will help you create a few predictions about the text. Pause the video to do this now. So next you're going to listen to the story being read whilst you follow along with the text. So if you have a printer, make sure you've printed out the text. If not, you can follow it along on the screen. The link to the YouTube audio recording is on class charts. So please spend about half an hour listening to the recording and following along using your own version of the text. Pause the video to do this now. Okay, so next I would like you to answer these questions in your book. Explain what the setting is like at the start of the story. In your own words, explain why the paw was created. The Sergeant Major Morris reveals that the first man to own the paw made his third wish for death. Based on what happens in the story, what could you infer or guess about his first two wishes? What does the Sergeant Major Morris attempt to do with the paw? What three things, two in the lead up to and one directly after the old man makes a wish, suggest to the reader the monkey's paw is not a good thing? What is the family's first wish? How does it turn out ironically? And do you agree with Mr. White's final wish? Explain your answer. So what I would like you to do is spend 20 minutes completing these questions carefully. Do use full sentences, and bear in mind that some will need quotes from the text, whilst others will need you to summarise events using your own words. So pause the video for 20 minutes to do this now. Okay, so these are the answers to the questions. 1. The story is set at night, possibly winter. It is cold and wet, and there is a strong wind blowing outside the house. 2. According to the Sergeant Major, the fakir who put the spell on the monkey's paw did so to show that that fate ruled people's lives, and that those who interfered with it did so to their sorrow. 3. The reader can infer that the man's first two wishes did not lead to happiness, but instead ruined his life so tragically he could not live, and that's why he wished for death. 4. Sergeant Major Morris attempts to burn the paw so it can't harm anyone else. He strongly recommends the whites let it burn. 5. The first clue the paw is evil is that Morris's face turns white when asked about his wishes, suggesting he didn't enjoy how they turned out. Next we learn that the first man to possess it chose death for his third wish. Finally, when Herbert is looking into the fire, he sees an evil monkey's face watching him in the flames. 6. The family wish for £200 to pay off their mortgage. The next day Herbert is killed horribly in an industrial accident, and ironically they receive £200 in compensation from his employers. 7. Answers to this question may vary as it's opinion-based, but you should state your opinion clearly and provide a detailed explanation with examples to support it. So pause the video to make sure you have the answers correctly written down in your book. So next lesson, what we'll be doing is looking at how the story uses pathetic fallacy to create a frightening Gothic atmosphere. So thank you very much for your work today, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.